Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in MVC how to create the registration form with profile image upload. And here we got the final output, new user registration, and notice the URL index view page and the controller name is a new reg. Now before enter the values, let's check the validation control is working or not. See, here we got the data annotations messages. Enter username charan@gmail.com. The password is 1111. The repassword, I'm giving the wrong password 1234. And notice below the validation message we got the repassword and the password do not match. So the repassword also 1111. I'm selecting the gender male, choose file, from the image folder, the bike 1 I'm selecting, open, click registration. Got a message, user record Charan is saved successfully. Let's check in the database the record is saved or not. Let's execute the statement, execute, and here we got the results. The user Charan is inserted successfully. Let's check in my project folder this bike1.jpg image is added or not. Solution Explorer, come to the bottom, the user images folder, show all files. I'm expanding the folder. See, here we got the bike1.jpg is added in the user images folder. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before writing the coding part in MVC, let's create a table in Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. I'm expanding the databases. SampleDB is my user database. I'm expanding that one. And in this SampleDB, I'm creating a new table. Right click the SampleDB, new query. Create table dbo.mvc registration user. The first column ID, which is the integer data type int. I want to make this ID column is a auto generate column. Identity 1,1, not null. I'm adding primary key for this column. The second column is a username varchar 100. User email varchar 100. User password varchar 50. Gender char 1, and the last column I'm adding to store the image path, but the actual image I will store in my project folder. User image varchar max. Let's create the table, execute, and we got a message, command completed successfully. Let's refresh this table folder. Refresh, and here we got the MVC Reg user. Let's browse the table, select top 1000 rows, and here we got the results of this newly created table MVC Reg user. Now it's time to write the coding part to insert new user registration details into this table. For this video tutorial, I'm creating a new project. Go to File, New, Project, I'm choosing ASP.NET Web Application and the .NET Framework is 4.6.1 and the project name is MVC Reg User. Click OK. And I'm selecting the template MVC4. Click OK. And the new project is created successfully. Let's close this window. Open the Solution Explorer. The first thing, I'm adding a class in this models folder. Right click the models folder, add class. The class name is user class, add. And here we got our newly created user class. Now I'm creating a public properties in this class with data innertions, which are the validation controls. So for that I'm using the namespace using system dot component model dot data innertions. In the public class user, and here the public properties I'm adding the column names in the table. The first column ID is the auto generate column, so I'm not creating any property for this. Second, username, copy this one, public string username get set, copy this one. Second property, third property, fourth and fifth. The second column name is email, copy this one, paste here. And the third one is a user password. The fourth one is a gender. I'm giving cat because the gender data type is cat. And the last one is a user image. I'm adding data innertions required error message is equals to enter username display name is equals to the label enter username string length. The first parameter is the maximum length, which is I'm giving 7, comma minimum length, at least the user must enter 3 characters. Error message is equals to username length must be maximum 7 and minimum 3. Required error message is equals to please enter the email address. Display name is equals to email ID required error message is equals to enter the password. Display name password data type dot password, and here I'm adding one more property for the repassword. To check the password and repassword must be same. Public string repassword get set. Let's copy this. The error message is enter repassword. I'm adding compare, which is a string, this property, user password. Required error message is equals to select the gender. Display name is equals to gender. Let's copy this. Upload profile image. Profile image. That's it. We have added the public properties and the data annotations in this user class. Let's create a controller. Go to Solution Explorer, right click the controllers, add controller. I'm choosing MVC controller empty. Add. The controller name is new reg controller. Add. And here we got our controller also. The first thing, I'm adding the namespace user class in this controller using the project name is MVC Reg user dot models. After that, I'm adding the SQL Server namespaces using system.data using system.data.SQL client using system.configuration. After that, I'm adding the namespace IO using system.io to upload the files. After adding the required namespaces, I'm creating a new public action result for HTTP post. This one is a get. I'm creating HTTP post. At the top, I'm adding HTTP post. Now in this action result index, I'm adding the class name user class UC, and the second one I'm adding a class HTTP posted file base, and this class is used to upload the file. Now the next step is we'll add our SQL connection string in the web.config file. Go to Server Explorer, Data Connections, right click that one, add connection, and the server name. After adding the server name, I'm selecting the database name. Sample DB is my user database. I'm selecting that one. Test connection. OK. And notice here in Server Explorer under Data Connections, the sample db.dbo is added. We need this sample db.dbo data source connection string. So to get that sample db data source connection, right click that one, go to Properties, In the properties under connections, there is a connection string, the data source. Copy that one. Go to Solution Explorer, the open web.config file, and here the connection string is added. I'm deleting this connection string. I'm pasting the data source connection string, this one. I'm changing the name, the default connection to my connection is my connection string name. Let's copy this, switch back to the controller. String main con is equals to configuration manager dot connection strings. Between double quotes, I'm adding that connection string name dot connection string. SQL connection, SQL con is equals to new SQL connection. I'm adding main con. String SQL query is equals to, here the SQL statement is an insert statement, inserting the new record into the table. Insert into the table name is dbo.mvc reg user. Copy that one, paste here. The column names are username, user email, user password, gender, gender, user image, values at uname, at uemail, at upassword. Sorry, here M is here, delete that one. At gender, at user image. After adding the insert statement, SQL command, I'm creating an object for the SQL command class. New SQL command which takes two parameters. One is the command text, this one SQL query, and the second parameter is the object connection, SQL connection object. Let's open the connection string. Open sqlcom.parameters.add with value. The first parameter is a parameter name which is at uname. Copy this one, which is a string, so I'm adding double quotes. Here the object value is the public properties uc dot uname. Let's copy this. The second one is uemail, password, copy this one, gender, the last column is a user image, which I want to store the image path, but the actual image I want to store in the project folder. If this one file is not equals to null and file dot content length is greater than 0, string file name is equals to path dot get file name, file dot file name, string image path is equals to path dot combine method server dot map path between double quotes. I'm adding the folder name here. So let's create a folder name to store the images. Go to Solution Explorer, right click the project name, add new folder, user images, copy this one, tilt, I'm adding the folder name, comma, file name, this variable, file dot save as image path, SQL com dot parameters dot add with value. The parameter name is at UIMG. Comma, copy this one, plus file dot file name, SQL command dot execute non-query. Let's close the connection string, SQL con dot close method. After successfully insert the record state table, I want to display message. For that, I'm using view data. View data message is equals to user record plus plus uc dot uname is saved successfully. That's it, we have done the coding part in the controller. Now we need the index view page. Right click the index, add view, the view name index only, the template, create, the model class I'm adding the user class, here user class, click add. And here we got the view page index. I'm changing the header tag index to new user registration. I'm deleting the user class h4 header, and here we got the controllers and validation messages. But the gender, instead of editor for, I want to add the radio button controls. At html dot label male at html dot radio button for, I'm adding this model gender, comma m. Let's copy this and paste in here. The label here is, I'm changing the label female F. I don't require the HTML editor for. The next one, I'm adding the file upload controller. Input type is equals to file name is equals to file. I don't require this one also. Let's change the value of the button control registration. The type is submit only. Now the last one, I want to display the message at HTML dot this one, view data message. Copy this one, paste here. Go to top. Here in the begin form, the view page is the index. Second one is the controller name is a new reg. This one. Form method dot post comma new and see type is equals to multi-part form data. That's it. We have done the designing part in the index view page also. But before run this application on the browser, the last important thing is go to Solution Explorer, expand the app underscore start, open route config.cs file. Notice the controller name is a home, which is a default one. I'm adding our controller name is a new reg. Just paste here. And the action view page is an index only, this one. Now it's time to insert the records into a table, Google Chrome, and here we got the final output, new user registration, and notice the URL index view page and the controller name is a new reg. Now before enter the values, let's check the validation control is working or not. See, here we got the data annotations messages. Enter username Charan at gmail.com. The password is 1111. The repassword, I'm giving the wrong password 1234. And notice below the validation message we got the repassword and the password do not match. So the repassword also 1111. I'm selecting the gender male, choose file, from the image folder, the bike one I'm selecting, open, click registration. Got a message, user record Charan is saved successfully. Let's check in the database the record is saved or not. Let's execute the statement, execute, and here we got the results. The user Charan is inserted successfully. Let's check in my project folder this bike1.jpg image is added or not. Solution Explorer, come to the bottom, the user images folder, show all files. I'm expanding the folder. See, here we got the bike1.jpg is added in the user images folder. That's it.